Our concept explores the complex relationship between Gaia, Earth's self-regulating system, and the carbon cycle, a crucial process for environmental balance and optimal living conditions. Closely connected to Gaia's theory, the carbon cycle controls movement of the carbon between the atmosphere, ocean, plants, and living organisms, which is crucial for the climate regulation and ecosystem support. However, humans' actions often disrupt this harmony. Motivated by personal interests, activities like burning fossil fuels and extensive land clearing increase the carbon level in the atmosphere, disturbing Gaia's balance and threatening the ecological stability. Through our concept, we aim to highlight this contrast Gaia's harmonious system versus human disruption. By raising awareness, we hope to inspire greater respect for Earth's delicate balance as well as encourage consideration of everyday actions we partake in that disturb it. The idea behind designing a skirt for our project is that it covers up the most vulnerable part of the body. Just like how Gaia and the carbon cycle protect Earth, or else without it, it would be at its most vulnerable state. Our final design includes a full circle skirt split into 6 panels, each representing one stage of the carbon cycle on Earth. The waistband is used as a casing to pull through an elastic cord, enabling us to reveal each stage one by one, and gradually revealing their interconnection and depth. The fact that the closure doesn't close flush is on purpose to represent the imbalance and disconnection that occurs within Gaia because of humans' personal interests and actions.
To represent each stage of the carbon cycle within our panels, we chose to use natural dyeing as our medium. Despite its amount of water usage during the process, there are several reasons why we preferred natural dyeing over acid dyes. Natural dyes are derived from natural sources, making them environmentally friendly, whereas acid dyes are synthetic and they release toxic substances into waterways during production and dyeing processes, causing ecosystem damage. Natural dyes are also biodegradable, which align well with the principles of the carbon cycle. Natural dyes is that you don't have to worry about the harmony of the color palette, as all natural dyes tend to turn out a subdued, desaturated, yet beautiful color that go very well together. This perfectly mirrors Gaia, where all natural organisms work in harmony to create a delicate balance on Earth. In huge contrast, humans' personal interests fall apart from this balance. It's connected to all the stages of the carbon cycle negatively, corrupting them slowly. To really emphasize this contrast in our design, we chose black, a color so dominant that overpowers all the efforts of the other colors in each panel. To create the pattern, we measured the mannequin's waist circumference, which would be the overall circumference of the circle when panels are joined together. Because we had 6 panels, we divided 360 degrees by 6, getting the angle of 60 degrees for each panel, and chose the length of 35 centimeters for the skirt to hit around the mid-thigh. We then went ahead and added seam allowances, as well as making the waistband following the same waist measurement.
To test out our design and bring our idea into a 3D version for any possible edits that needed to be done, we made a prototype with the fabric we had left from previous projects. The prototype turned out better than we expected. We decided to eliminate the bow on the closure because it was too distracting and we didn't want it to be the focal point as it went against our concept by being tightly closed off. After that, we had confirmed to go with our final fabric.
Something we enjoyed about this project was how conscious we were of our decisions throughout the journey due to our material limitations. As you can see in this clip, I tried cutting a third panel upside down between the other 2 panels to minimize our waste. But when I finished tracing all the patterns onto our fabric before cutting, I realized that when I laid out the 2 bottom skirt panels too close together, we would lose more length of the fabric from the top. So I got rid of the pin marks and restarted, putting the bottom 2 panels further away so that I could fit a third panel upside down, which moved all the pattern pieces a bit further down, saving us more fabric than before. It's important for us as designers to be conscious of our waste throughout the entirety of our projects, and it's worth the little time we spend during every project to really consider this. This is a habit we hope to maintain during all of our future projects, as small, conscious choices like this can affect how little waste we create and prevent from adding onto the landfill.
After researching, we found out that cellulose fabrics aren't as good as protein fabrics in taking natural dyes, but we were adamant about using cotton as our material because it's a very common fabric found everywhere, to show how such simple materials can be dyed and designed in beautiful ways and to encourage others in trying it as well. To solve this problem, we used tannin as well as alum to prepare the fabric for dyeing. We used 18% weight of our fabric for the galnut tannin and left it to soak overnight for the best end results. We then rinsed our fabric properly, wrung it, and added it to the hot water with 5% weight of fabric for alum to soak for at least 1 to 2 hours.
To connect our panel to animal, we use a cochineal dye, which is made out of cochineal insects. The cochineal dye creates a magenta color, which we use for the base of the panel. We then added our 3D element to this panel by making butterflies out of tulle fabric. Butterflies symbolize how living organisms on Earth are constantly evolving and adapting to different environments to maintain the balance of Gaia. We chose the color green to hand sew the butterfly design on tulle because it represents growth and abundance in life, and it is the complementary color of magenta, creating contrast and therefore making them the focal point of the panel. Just like the other panels, we use green beads to imitate the body of the butterflies.
When we were brainstorming for each panel in the beginning, we had issues when thinking about this panel. But in our Textiles 1 technology class, we were learning about different methods of dyeing fabrics, and we wondered if anyone's ever dyed fabric with mushrooms or fungi. After researching, we found out that there is a specific mushroom named dyer's polypore that is used commonly to dye yarn and fabric. The older the mushroom is, the richer the color is. It makes this beautiful copper color with protein fabric, specifically wool, but with cellulose fabrics it creates a light yellow color. If different types of alum are used, like iron, the color turns green or brown. So after collecting the mushrooms, we broke it into small pieces and soaked it in boiling water for 2 hours. Then we added the mordanted fabric in the dye bath, along with the mushrooms in it, rather than straining it to get the most intense color possible. For the actual mushrooms sewn onto the skirt panel, we used silk organza found at Our Social Fabric. We used the element of texture to mimic a visual representation of dyer's polypore. We gathered the organza to create mushroom-like ruffles growing throughout the panel. After that, we enhanced the texture even more by adding miscellaneous beading found at Our Social Fabric within the mushrooms.
The atmosphere plays a huge role in keeping the balance of Gaia. This video shows the movement of CO2 between the atmosphere, plants, and the ocean in 1 year. The carbon intake by plants increases in the summer. As seen right in the bottom where the Amazon forest is located, carbon flows in and out like a heartbeat, the symbol of Gaia's resilience in creating peace. Lush greenery acts keep our planet's carbon cycle in check, but as humans clear forests and pump carbon into the air, it overpowers nature's best efforts. After seeing this video, the complexity of Gaia's system becomes very clear. Every breath taken by the forest is closely linked to the well-being of the entire planet.
We decided to use butterfly pea flower tea to dye the fabric lavender. Lavender is a light and gentle color, symbolizing peace and tranquility, which parallels the atmosphere's role in keeping the carbon balance in a peaceful equilibrium. By soaking the fabric in this dye bath, you get a blue-grayish result, which we tested to use for a marine panel, but we found the results too gray for our purposes. This material is blue at its neutral pH level, but when acid is added, the dyed bath turns purple, so we used vinegar to change the color into lavender. We painted the panel with the dye bath with swirling motions, as well as hand-sewn and embroidered a string piece we found in Our Social Fabric. We manipulated the element of line as well as using color to represent the movement of carbon in the atmosphere. As you can see, some of the string is touching the other two panels, further emphasizing it's a link to other organisms. As we mentioned on the atmosphere panel, the plants on Earth play a huge role in the carbon cycle. They photosynthesize and convert the carbon into organic matter, preparing it to decompose later. We decided to collect flowers and leaves, and via using the method of pounding, we imprinted their natural pigments on the mordanted fabric. Organic shapes are typically found in nature, while geometric shapes are man-made. The layered imprints of the flowers create very organic shapes, which goes perfectly hand in hand with our theme. Each flower species contributes its unique hue to the dye, highlighting the diversity of plant life. By incorporating natural flowers into the panel, we're not only visually representing the diverse beauty of nature, but also symbolizing its harmony within it themselves as well as the other stages, and it reinforces the idea of honoring and celebrating the biodiversity of our planet. We decided to use the techniques of embroidery and beading to enhance the natural beauty of these colors and organic shapes.
For the marine panel, we decided to use red cabbage to dye our fabric blue in the context of the ocean panel, where you might expect a vibrant or saturated blue. The desaturated hue serves as a metaphor for the subtle ways in which nature expresses itself, yet humans overlook it. Similar to the butterfly pea flower, this dye changes color when an acidic or alkaline is added to it. We added baking soda where we were able to increase the pH levels and get a blue color rather than a red or purple. In theme of the carbon cycle, we went around the school and asked students for plastic pieces. In our project, plastic pieces are sewn into the ocean panel and serve as a representation of the widespread issue of plastic pollution in marine ecosystems. This visual metaphor not only displays the presence of literal plastics, but also highlights the significant impact of the fashion industry, which we are responsible for a third of all plastic pollution in the world's ocean through the shedding of microfibers from synthetic fibers during washing. These microfibers infiltrate the ocean, disrupt ecosystems, corrupting the balance of Gaia by releasing harmful greenhouse gases as they degrade, and worsening the challenge of climate change. This is one of the main reasons why we chose cotton as our main fabric to be conscious of our footprint. We use the natural fabric that does not shed microplastics when washed.
For our fossil fuel panel, we decided to use real charcoal smudged onto the panel's fabric. Charcoal production and carbon emissions are intertwined through the process of combustion. When charcoal is burned, it releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. This CO2 is a greenhouse gas, contributing to the warming of the planet and climate change. We also added the charcoal onto the waistband to symbolize how the waistband usually supports the garment, but in this case, the waistband is controlling and overpowering the other panels. Carbon emissions spread throughout the Earth, therefore this waistband is in a way threatening the other cycles of Earth with the intent to harm them.
We're so glad we had the opportunity to do this project as a team rather than alone, as it really deepened our understanding of this year's theme. Just like Gaia, we all work together in harmony, each part taking various parts of the project to help each other produce balanced results. Our creativities and ideas started different from each other, mirroring Gaia's various organisms. However, slowly but surely, we started narrowing down our ideas, working with one main concept: nature's palette. We all used different techniques and challenged ourselves, yet if you saw the final piece by itself, you wouldn't guess that 3 people have contributed to it. The final piece with all its different parts is one creation, and that is Gaia.
Overall, we were satisfied with our final results. However, there are some key points we would have changed if we were to do it all over again. One thing that didn't turn out as we imagined was the overall drape of the skirt. It wasn't as harmonious as we imagined, which goes against our theme of harmony. A change of material specifically for the atmosphere and the marine panel would have been the best solution. As a group of fashion designers, we've embraced a significant responsibility and opportunity. Our mission was to raise consciousness, spread awareness, and inspire others to join us in caring for our planet. The connection might not be clear to everyone, but everything in our world is interdependent. Without understanding and respecting each element of this cycle, we risk destabilizing the delicate balance that sustains life on Earth. Through our work and influence, we aim to highlight this cycle of life and encourage positive action towards environmental sustainability.